it haunts, why certain images seem to stay with us. Have you ever seen a piece of art that you wish you could forget, but you just can't? I mean, maybe it was a distorted AI generated face that surfaced in your feed. Maybe it was some gallery installation that used flickering lights and jittering sound to make your skin crawl. It just gets under your skin and it stays there. Some art just doesn't draw your attention. It reprograms it, and it doesn't live on the wall or on some screen. It takes up residence in your nervous system. When the brain meets ambiguity, you encounter something unclear or strange. Your brain drops into problem-solving mode. It hates not knowing what it is looking at. Ambiguous images, faces, almost human, scenes, missing logic make your mind work harder and hold your attention longer. That unresolved tension becomes a mental itch because your brain can't quite file it away. It keeps circling back again and again to that image like a tab that you've forgotten to close on your computer. Meanwhile, a raw sensory signals, jarring contrast, uncanny motion, unsettling sound light up the older emotional wiring that's evolved to detect a threat or determine some significance. So your thinking brain wrestles for meaning while your emotional brain flares with feeling. The double tension, that discomfort, plus the fascination is exactly what makes these experiences linger. And when the images carry familiar symbols like eyes watching, falling, isolation, metamorphosis, it all taps into a shared emotional pattern as old as a myth. Even if it was generated by a machine last week, it feels ancient. There's a personal tip to it. Not everyone is haunted by the same thing. Two people can stand before the same work. One feels nothing and the other is a quiet ache. The difference comes from their personal wiring, memory, loss, desire, trauma. When something in the work mirrors an old emotional blueprint, colors that recall childhood walls, a posture that echoes someone you lost, it lights up circuitry and that emotion first carved in your brain. The brain's a mirror factory too. When you see expressive faces or bodies in art, the same neural systems that feel and perform those emotions activate inside of you. You're not just observing grief or ecstasy, you're simulating it. Add culture to the mix, the symbols you were raised to notice, like religious, social, aesthetic, shape what feels like powerful or taboo or sacred. What startles you may be invisible to someone else somewhere else. Haunting is always a collaboration between the artwork and your own neural history. When your art rewrites the mind, you have to ask yourself, can an image or an experience go beyond emotion and actually change the brain? Evidence suggests yes. Creating viewing art both alter connections between regions that handle emotion and self-reflection. Over time, revisiting a powerful piece can strengthen or soften those pathways. In that way, art becomes emotional training. It can help heal fear or grief, or it can keep them alive depending on how you engage. This emotional charge will also spill outward, and whether you're stirred by a painting, a film, or a song, the afterglow can shift your mood, empathy, or even your worldview. Art can bleed into your perception, coloring how you interpret the next thing that you see. So when something you've seen contradicts what your mind expects, what people are like, what beauty means, it can crack your internal model of reality. And that destabilization may feel uncomfortable, but integrating it often leads to a much deeper emotional growth. Art doesn't just represent change, it enacts it. So how do we live with this haunting of the arts? For artists, Understanding this interplay between perception and emotion is extremely powerful. Use ambiguity to hold attention. Play with contrast and rhythm to awaken feelings. Let visible traces of motion, brushstrokes, sound, textures, handheld camera, tremor, carry that body into the work. And for the viewers, awareness becomes a form of self-care. Notice what sticks in your mind and ask why. Sometimes it's not the art, but the mirror it holds up that unnerves you. Give yourself time to unpack it instead of just scrolling away. That reflection transforms unease into understanding. See it in person if you can. You can honor the art that haunts you without letting it take over. There's a resonance here that remains. If an image, a melody, or a scene still echoes in your thoughts days or years later, it's not just craft or quality at work. It's that rare alignment of ambiguity, emotion, and memory that syncs perfectly with your inner circuitry. That resonance proves that art isn't confined to galleries, theaters, or just digital screens. It continues living inside the mind and rewiring it as it goes. And here we are in 2026, and as artists work with AI and immersive media and sensory overload itself, that conversation between art and consciousness is evolving even faster than ever. But the real question may not be, why does this art haunt me? But it may more be better asked by saying, what is it trying to change in me?